This is the table we're looking at today. We've got the wrong names as well. This is kind of weird. Should have updated to that and to that. And that's perfect. Okay, so here at our Pioneer event, we have Keraan Chetty, who was a finalist yesterday in Standard. He's up against Yudhi Moodley, who was one of the top 8 players as well. So 2 of the top players from yesterday's Standard event in our live game this morning, our first live game in Pioneer. With me today, Lee Moodley. Hi, Lee.
How are you guys doing?
Cool. Welcome to chat, everybody. This is our first game. We've got Orzhov Vampires coming from Yudhi and Jeskai Ascendancy from Keraan. You know more about Pioneer than I do, Lee. What are we looking at here?
Well, we're looking at a nice tribal deck versus a combo deck. So Jeskai is trying to play a lot of spells. It's trying to untap a creature, making it really big with the Ascendancy combo, getting a lots of +1/+1 combo, +1/+1s, untapping it, and trying to go in for lethal. Whereas Yudhi is trying to build up a nice board to get his vampires going, getting some synergies going so that he can get off to an aggressive start. I think that's the new one draw. I'm not 100%.
That's a Vampire of Dire Moon.
Vampire of Dire Moon.
So it's lifelink death touch.
Yeah. So that's pretty good against the combo, getting in a block. Keraan might need to get some trample going through if he's wanting to get through the vampire board, or he's trying to manage the board by ensuring that he doesn't get enough vampire synergies going. So this is going to be a very interesting match. Firing up the Mutavault almost immediately, trying to
swing. How much damage is that? So that's 1,
2. That's 3 damage if I'm not mistaken.
3 damage to Keraan, and then a life gain for Yudhi.
It's a 1/1 death toucher if I'm not mistaken.
Yep. So he'll go to 21.
Yeah, Mutavault's a 2/2. So yeah, getting off to a nice start. I mean, the Orzhov is trying to be aggressive. It wants to get to the board early and try and push the damage through, because he doesn't really want Keraan to get his combo off. As soon as Ascendancy hits the battlefield, he is going to start to worry. Let's see what he has in the sideboard. Hopefully some enchantment removal for him later for Yudhi.
What are the 2 creatures that Keraan's got on the board there? 3. Oh, there's an Omnath.
Yeah. Omnath out. That's kind of spicy in the combo.
And that's an attack.
No, I think he's using that for mana ramp, if I'm not mistaken. Because Omnath's a 4 drop, so he's just using it to ramp out Omnath. Just to get a little bit of mana advantage, because it is quite mana intensive as a deck, trying to get as many spells off as possible.
That particular Omnath, that's a 4/4 Omnath, and is that the Locus of the Royal?
I think that's the Teamer one, not the one with landfall. I think they all have landfall, if I'm not mistaken.
Sure. Is it Locus of Creation? It's Locus of Creation.
Is that the 4 mana one? Yeah, that's a 4 mana one with landfall where you gain 4 life. So he hasn't hit his landfall trigger. Hopefully turn 4 he'll get that. And Yudhi just applying a little bit more, keeping the pressure on. Fatal pushing. Did he get a...
I think that was a Discord.
So it looks like Yudhi's stuck on lands there.
Expressive Iteration coming out. So Keraan will get to look at 3, he'll put 1 in his hand, he'll be able to put 1 back in his library, and then he'll be able to exile 1 and play it this turn.
Very good card. Seeing Modern play, I saw Salvesh played in the Legacy tournament, playing lots of... So Legacy's been turned on its head.
And it's a Hallowed Fountain that he's putting into exile. Hasn't played a land for turn, so he could drop that.
Nice. So allowing him to gain 4 life, really... Yeah. Playing it
Hell, if it comes in tapped, so he gains the 4 life off of the Omnath trigger. We'll go to 21. I can't see what that is.
Is that a banner?
It's something what killed his creature.
It's an exile. It's an enchantment exile effect. There's a lot of new cards in Pioneer. Pioneer is so wide open. It's very hard for us to manage all of these decks. It's also quite a nice spicy format right now. So if you ever want to brew and you feel Modern's a bit too intense,
Chained to the Rocks, Foxglove Lass. Thank you.
Appreciate you guys in chat, providing us with some good information on the side. And I also saw you guys help me out with my calls yesterday. So thank you again for those judge calls.
From original Theros.
Before I was playing again. So that's maybe why I don't recognize these cards.
Okay. Chained to the rocks. My tapping skills are leaving me. So chain to the rocks, enchant mountain you control. When chained to the rocks, enter the battlefield. Exile target creature and opponent controls until chained to the rocks leaves the battlefield.
Yeah, nice banishing light effect.
That is another land onto the field, so gaining another 4 life, going to 25.
Yudhi is sitting there with a lot of mana problems, so it's busy building up his.
Another Vampire of the Dire Moon.
And that's just a cycle of the Triumph to draw a card. It looks like Kieran's pulling ahead.
Keraan very much ahead here, from what I can tell.
Yeah, on board, on lands, on cards. Well, maybe Yudhi's got the same amount of cards, but he has to keep throwing them away if he doesn't draw any lands.
Corey, if you're still watching, maybe you can help us out. I'm still trying to understand those 2 green creatures of Kieran's, what those are, because I'm not sure how to allocate damage right now, and we don't have Christopher running back and forwards giving us life totals like we did yesterday.
Let me give it a quick check there.
Just be careful, don't bump anybody.
It's 24 to 20 on the life totals.
24 to 20. 24 to Keraan. And 20.
Yudhi.
Okay, so those are updated. 0-3 with hexproof. Okay.
Oh, yes.
Dryad Curiated. Okay, super. Thank you so much.
I think this is if you've ever played Rudolph, he loves this card just because it can't get pushed until he gets his mana advantage, which is quite nice. Okay, that's a Sorin it's the Sorin from M21, the Vampire Sorin, where you can minus and put a creature from.
Oh, that's Haunt to the Hightower.
I can see you're the vampire favorite here.
Haunt to the Hightower is a scary card, and that's the 3-drop Sorin, who's fantastic.
Especially in the vampires deck, just doing all the heavy lifting.
Well, I mean, that Sorin has just allowed him to put Haunt to the Hightower onto the battlefield without paying its mana cost. Haunt to the Hightower, whenever it attacks, opponent has to discard a card. Every time they discard a card, it gets a +1/+1 counter.
Ooh,
so,
nice. Trying to get rid of that card advantage that Kieran's built through that Omnath. And
Foxglove seems to think that Haunt is a pretty weird inclusion. Although, it's a power card.
I think that's probably a meta core with all the...
and another one. Exiling that Haunt. Good move, that.
Yeah, so Pioneer is quite you've still got Treasure Cruise available in this format. It's the only format that it's legal. One of the most broken draw spells in the pack.
We're not fans of Treasure Cruise.
What are you talking about? I'm a blue player, so I love that card. If I was playing today, that would be the deck I'd be playing, Blue-Red Phoenix, just because you can play Treasure Cruise when you can play a card that's...
Is that Gigantha? That's Gigantha. So Gigantha's hitting Yudhi in the face, and Omnath killed Omnath took out the Planeswalker, took out Sorin. Gigantha's how big?
5/5.
5/5. So that's 5 damage for Yudhi to the face.
And it's nice to have those free spells to the companion. It's like playing with a 8th card in the hand. Really good advantage. Especially if you can include it for free. I mean, most people are playing...
To be honest, I think we've missed a couple of land drops here in terms of life total for Keraan.
Let me double check for us to make sure we got it.
Okay, I don't think we need to interrupt play, yeah? If you can see the life total, cool, but let's not...
Sure.
We had an issue yesterday with Legion where our guy was running back and forth and accidentally kept bumping his table.
But I think Kieran's been playing for so long, he's such a strong player, nothing's going to tilt him.
For sure.
Winning a toe.
Westgate Region 2 wasn't aware of the new inclusions of BAMs. Yeah, something I saw earlier, I was having a look through the deck with Yudhi. I did see Westgate Region. Westgate Region also a very powerful card. Again, Omnath going for Sorin, killing Soren, and Gigantha going through for another 5 damage to Yudhi. So that's 10. Yudhi not willing to throw his Regent in front of Gigantha. Because Regent says whenever it does damage, it gets +1/+1 counters for the amount of damage it did.
Oh, wow.
And it's flying and it has ward.
So you can definitely build it up a little bit.
Yeah.
But his life total is not so much of a resource at this point in time after missing all those land drops.
Okay, so he's played what's the land? Legion, what?
Legion's Landing.
Legion's Landing, gets himself a 1/1 vamp with lifelink.
So he needs to attack with 3 creatures. And then
So he's going in the air with the Regent, so he's going to do his first bit of damage with that. I think it's 3 damage, and then it'll get the counters on it, so it'll become a 6/6. Let me just make sure of that. I do like me some vampires, which is why I actually I have a little bit of knowledge of the vampires.
Oh, it's a 4.
So it's a 4/4, so it's now become an 8/8.
Oh, now it can hopefully rumble. He's got a nice gifted 8th of one. I think that's got lifelink and death touch.
Yeah, but another expressive iteration coming out from Keraan, so that's going to help him.
Check for some answers. Hopefully to take off the, what is that vampire you're enjoying there?
The Westgate Regent. I'm pretty sure he's going to try and get rid of that, because once that thing gets going, I mean, if it does damage again, it goes from an 8/8 to a 16/16.
I'm wondering if Yudhi has anything that can give him lifelink, apart from give his creatures lifelink, because I know vampires always love lifelink.
And that's the new Consider. That's from the new
So basically surveil 1, draw a card.
Yeah. Dredge players must like that, bro.
All players love that. Phoenix players, but I think Graveyard's always been a resource in Magic that's been abused. I mean,
Sure.
face the shooting bans. That's why, I mean, we're talking about Treasure Cruise, also free mana off the Graveyard. So Graveyard's always one of those, like almost like a second
There's
hand.
another land, so that'll give him another 4 life off of Omnath. Is that a portable hole? Has the portable hole taken out the little Vampire of the Dire Moon? I think that's what's happened.
That's exotic permanent for 2 or less.
Yes.
Very good card. A little bit susceptible to artifact and removal, but game 1, I think no one's really. It's a really good inclusion. And if you play some artifact decks, nice to tutor up a nice removal piece. Similar role to the On Thin Ice.
You'd be able to untap with that Westgate Regent, so I'm hoping for Keraan's sake that he's got something to be able to deal with that, because otherwise that's 8 damage in the air coming through, turning it into a 16/16 on his next turn.
In Pioneer, I'm not 100% sure if there's any good instant speed removal. You'll probably be looking at white. Red damage spells probably it's out of reach now, being an 8/8. So definitely looking for maybe something like a cast out, or I'm not sure if he has any of those in his deck. So
We haven't received the deck list yet, so we'll be able to check that in a little bit. But that looks like a Donto Vanguard. And
yes,
Vona.
there we go. Yes, the Lord for all the vampires, pumping them up.
All the vampires get bigger. That's a 1/1. I can't see what that vampire on the end is. So that flips Legion's Landing. That's now a 2/2. That 8/8 is now a 9/8. I'm not sure what that last card is. I can't see what that last card is.
Which one is on here?
That last one over there.
Oh, that's a gifted 8/1.
Gifted. Okay, so how much damage is that going to be?
That's a 2/3 with lifelink and death touch.
Okay.
So you're going to gain him 3 life.
So Yudhi's going to, 3 life now because of the pump.
Yeah, and then
Wow. Okay, so that was 9 damage to Keraan
in the air.
in the air, and that turns that Westgate Regent into a really huge 18/18.
Oh well, it gets 9.
9, so it's 17, 17.
17, and then 18 from the pump on the Lord.
Wow.
So really getting
That's
in
a
there.
big. If he untaps with that again, it could pretty much be life total done for
Keraan
Keraan.
definitely digging for an answer for that. It's if he doesn't get off, he's gonna.
From what I could see, in fact, when I was looking through the deck earlier with Yudhi, was that he actually only runs the one Westgate Regent. So
Yeah, it's a big drop. So I think he's obviously. He was pretty hell-bent. I think the Gifted Aceborn's giving him a little bit of breathing room with the life link on it.
sure.
And it's a beautiful card, double black. It's one of those cards that even if you're just playing mono black, it's
Okay, so that's
huge.
4 life for Keraan on the Fable Passage, takes him back up to 23. So out of range of the Westgate Regent.
You've got to commend these players. So many triggers on the battlefield, making sure they keep every piece of advantage they're getting.
Yeah.
And I mean, Kieran's one of those players who'll never get that advantage. He's really there to trying to erode every piece of breathing room that you've got.
Sure.
And yeah.
Down to Vanguard's still a great card. I mean, the fact that you can just pay life to make it indestructible, you know, it's one of those things.
It's a 3-1.
3-1. But also, I think Yudhi's in a position now where if he does go for that, he's got to make a very careful decision about whether he wants to spend his life on that, because he is down to 13.
But I think with the clock that he's got on the air, you know, it's looking like a 2-turn, 3-turn clock if Keraan doesn't have an answer for it. So
Sure.
So Keraan can't just attack aggressively because the crackback is really lethal. So this is when you're getting into this competitive plays, the guys, you know, you can take your swings, but you got to be ready for the swing crackback.
Sure.
And in a game like this, it's really down to someone who pulls the trigger first, and it's almost like a control matchup with creatures here. You know? You know, it's like whoever pulls the trigger first is going to be at the ready. And I'm liking to see some tribal synergies. You know, very rarely do we get to enjoy creature tribal decks in more non-rotating formats, because, you know,
Playing 3 mana for...
Is that a Sylvan?
Is that a Sylvan Awakening?
Yeah, so all the creatures get what?
All the lands become 2/2
2/2
creatures with indestructible haste and vigilance until end of turn. That's big.
Ooh.
That's 1, 2, 3, 4,
it the game?
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Not vigilance. So that's 10. Those are 10. That's 20 damage that's coming in there.
Yeah, I think that might be the...
I haven't checked for the deck list yet.
Yeah, we
20 damage plus the Omnath plus the Gigantha.
So, I
I think
is this a scoop?
that's going to be a scoop. That's going to be it. Keraan, take that. Sylvan
Nice.
Awakening. What a great card.
Wow, what are some spicy cards. I didn't even expect to see
Clutch
that.
way to win that one.
Let's just check if we managed to find the deck list. Maybe we can give you guys
We'll have a
some
look now,
information on the sideboarding.
because we're going to see some sideboarding action going on.
And we didn't even see the
look-see.
Ascendancy from Keraan, which is huge.
Sylvan Awakening is part of the main combo in the deck. Okay, cool.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Me neither.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
And I'm expecting to see some some adventure time.
Adventure time.
I know Tyler was the one who took down the qualifier at Nexus with Adventures. I think there were quite a few people coming through with that. A very easy deck to port across from the old standard, just adding some lucky clovers.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just going to quickly chat with the judges to see if we can't get those deck lists.
Well, if it's possible, if they could print it for us, we might have a...
No, they can't print it. It's massive. Also, this is no printer here.
We've got all the computers in the world.
So, I mean,
What is that, Keraan? That looks like one of the dragons.
possible players? I don't know. Foxglove would know these formats very well.
Yeah.
Obviously, letting us know that Sylvan Awakening is part of the main combo for Jeskai Ascendancy. Unfortunately, we're in a situation right now where we're just waiting for these deck lists to come through. As soon as they do, we'll be able to give you some kind of insight into sideboarding. But Foxglove, I mean, if you wouldn't mind, maybe you can give your thoughts, what you might think would be happening from a sideboarding side. Maybe put it in chat for us. It's up to you.
Yeah, I know Keraan is definitely a player that likes to pick up a deck list online. You know, just as a player, you know, lets all the other guys do the work and just picks up the thing, maybe tweaks it up. I think if you watched him play yesterday, you saw that he had full main deck Polochronis, which is huge.
That was huge.
I think that kind of really gave him a huge advantage against the Rogues. I don't think he's saying that. He lost into the finals against Diego with Rogues. So, you know, as much as you can put these cards in your deck, they're variants. So I don't think he hit it any early on to assist him with the Rogues matchup. So I was busy playing Legacy, so I haven't had time to watch that game. But I think
the what happened there, by the time they went to Game 3 in the final last night, Diego just had all the draws. He controlled the game from the word go. Keraan just couldn't get back into it simply because Diego got his mill engine just rolling straight away.
As soon as that rogues deck, once it starts, it just can't stop.
Also, Diego's deck was very much designed where the other rogues decks are designed to mill as sort of part of the annoyance and then throw enough creatures down to do damage to you at the same time. Diego's deck was very much focused on the mill itself, just to mill you out, to just not let you play.
Yeah,
you know.
And I noticed that because...
Oh, here we go. Here's from Fox Club. Sorry, Lee. Thoughtseize coming in from Yudhi probably. You can cut the anti-aggro lifelink death touch vamps. More removal from Keraan, I guess, but it's tough to not dilute the combos and card draw in the deck. That's a fair comment. Thanks for that, Fox Club. Appreciate it.
Yeah, Thoughtseize is a huge part of this format, being a nice one-mana discard, especially coming from Theros. I think that one-mana discard really makes the black decks, gives them a little bit of an advantage.
Sure.
To, hand information, especially at this type of level, knowing what's in your opponent's hand and what to play around is really crucial for trying to make the optimal plays. And Yudhi, as you know, hadn't played his rogues deck, he was telling me, for a year, and then comes and says, okay, cool, everyone was giving him a little bit of stick for, not making top 8, and then all of a sudden just goes and pulls such a epic performance,
Fox Club just saying, interesting, can see Yudhi asking what Sylvan Awakening does, so it's not just us who was unaware it wasn't a deck. Keep in mind that these are closed deck list competitions, so players are not aware of their opponent's deck lists for these matches. So it's one of those things, so I don't think Yudhi would have known that it was in the deck. Which for me kind of makes it exciting because you get that kind of surprise to have something like Sylvan Awakening drop like that. I mean, I wanted to play it the other night in a Commander game. I've been wanting to play Sylvan Awakening in Commander for ages.
I also think it's a pretty powerful
I had the opportunity, and then for some stupid reason I didn't do it.
Couldn't find the fun.
But it's one of those things. Yes, sure. Not sure if Yudhi knows the archetype that well. But I can't comment on that. I mean, that would be where Yudhi is.
I know Yudhi's from Cape Town. Usually plays. I met him before this. I met him once at Top Deck. He was just down for a bit of Modern. He's just slowly getting into Modern, but he's playing all 3 formats, same as Keraan, same as a few of the really strong players like Ricardo.
Looks like Yudhi's going to keep. Keraan's going to mulligan.
And
London mulligan rules, obviously, so gets to draw another 7, keep 6, put 1 at the bottom of the library. We were actually discussing yesterday during the final about the use of the mulligan in modern Magic at the moment, in Magic as we stand, just to be able to fix your hand, basically, to take that extra draw, decide, listen, am I going to be okay with what I've got, or do I think that my next 6 are going to be better?
Well, I think it has had a really good impact, especially taking out the variance of the old mulligan. So when you used to have to draw five cards or 4 cards, like as you went down on cards, it got worse and worse for you.
Yeah.
So it really felt like very punishing based on luck or being unlucky.
Okay, so Yudhi coming out straight with the Legion's Landing.
Very good start for the Vampires deck.
Absolutely. Fox Club says, just for our information, combo for Jeskai Ascendancy plus Curiatids and other dorks for all the mana you need to play Sylvan Awakening and some cantrips. This is a really fast start for Yudhi.
Yeah, this is what he wants to
swinging
see.
in for 1 on Keraan straight away, and that is lifelink off that other vampire.
Yeah.
So he'll go to 21, Keraan goes to 19.
Looking to flip it next turn so he can get that 4th land drop, so maybe Sloran and another creature for him could maybe close this out much faster than Keraan's wanting to. And Keraan knows he's under pressure now. Keraan's saying he's getting his combo off. He can't really spend time digging because he's not answering for the board. He can't spend time just maybe playing a creature is good, but that flipped Legion's Landing is just going to put him on the back foot.
Did he shop that in?
Yep.
So he's taken the 2 off of the shock land.
Growth Spiral
to be able to Growth Spiral.
To add another land. So he's prioritizing.
Is that a double shock?
No.
No, that's just a straight in. Okay.
No, I think that's a sun. What's the green-white check land?
Okay.
Sun Petal Grove, if I'm not mistaken.
Something like that.
Yeah. So when it enters, it checks for, and then he's got a forest, and I think he's got I'm not sure which Triumph that is. Jeskai Triumph. He's playing Omnath, so could be either or.
Okay, tapping that. Not tapping that. Taking that back.
Yeah.
Passing to Yudhi. So Yudhi is going to be able to flip Legion's Landing on this attack.
And Legion's Landing is huge because it also starts to generate him a nice wide board. So allowing
What just happened?
a Mutavault's another creature which allows him next turn to if he's got a Lord. Oh, there we go. There's the
one
Lord. Yeah. So next turn, allowing him attacking for
1, 2,
6.
3. So that's 6 damage,
Yeah, from the Lord.
and that'll take Keraan down to 11, and it'll push Yudhi up to 27,
Yeah. Flipping the landing,
and flipping the landing.
which is massive because that means next turn.
This is a super aggressive start from Yudhi.
And I think that's what he was looking for last turn, and his lands just didn't allow him to get around that. Is that
What is that?
that's a radiant flames. So
Wipes the board.
wipes the board. So XX converge. So depending on how many colors were spent, X is basically, so he used all 3 different colors. So working as a nice Anger of the Gods or Wrath. Okay, Sorin is really good for him to
Radiant Flames.
Radiant Flame. Yeah. That's it there.
There it is right there. So Converge Radiant Flame deals X damage to each creature where X is the number of colors of mana spent to cast Radiant Flames.
So Sorin is really good. Oh, that's Drana. Drana is really strong.
Oh wow,
in the stack.
Drana and that's again from the Sorin trigger of just being able to -3, put a vampire from your hand onto the board.
And Sorin's really strong because when you're playing against control decks, Planeswalkers are really that advantage you're looking to get underneath the control deck, especially as a creature base. We want to have a bit of diversity because, as you see, a board wipe can really set you back. And
Which Drana is this? Butcher of Malekith?
Drana,
Is that last-
Liberator of Malekith, Liberator of
Malekith.
Yeah, that's the one from I think it was Battle for Zendikar.
Okay, well it's also in what's his name?
Commander, the Jumpstart.
So flying first strike, whenever Drana Liberator of Malekith deals combat damage to play, put a +1/+1 counter on each attacking creature you control. She's a 2/3 flying with first strike.
So that's quite nice as a combo because she gets to deal damage before, put +1/+1 counters, and when regular damage happens, your team's already buffed.
Anyway, it's getting exiled straight away with Chain to the Rocks.
Yeah, she's too strong to just leave on the board.
Can't leave that on the board. Keraan knows that that's a dangerous threat.
Especially with the
Got one of his dork sites, the Kyriatids are on there. 0/3, tap it for a mana. A Danto Vanguard coming down. And I can't remember the name of that thing. Ticking Sorin up.
So I'm surprised Yudhi's playing to the board and rather, so maybe feeling that
So what just happened there?
Mutavault.
Mutavault got a +1/+1 counter from Sorin and became a vampire.
Yeah.
So how much damage would that be?
That would be, it's a 2 damage. I don't know, it's a +1/+1 counter on the vampire, so it'll be a 3 damage going through.
So that'll take Keraan down to 8.
Yeah. So I'm surprised that Yudhi hasn't used the land, the Legion's Landing flip side. I think it's Andanta. What is it? Not sure.
Well, it makes
It makes a 1/1
makes
token.
a 1/1 token.
With lifelink.
Absolutely.
Possibly because I think it's 4 mana to activate, or if I'm not 4 or 3 mana,
Let's have a
I'd have
look-see.
to. Because I know the new white one, Castle Avantgarde, is the one that comes in untapped if you have a planes, which is a little bit stronger because there's no real investment into actually creating there's no investment into it.
So the other side is Adanto, the first fort legendary land. 3 to activate, so 2 and a white, create a 1/1 white vampire creature token with lifelink.
So I'm very surprised because of
Omnath on the board for Keraan.
ooh, this looks like it could start.
So I was looking for cards and I didn't see whether or not that came down before or after the land drop.
I think it was he hasn't made a land drop because he's been on 3, played the
Oh wow.
yeah. So it needed a.
Is that Veto?
Yes, the one that whenever you gain life, drain.
Yeah. Okay, so Adanto Vanguard going in is a 4/2 with the +1 off of Sorin.
And then has the option. So
So taking the 4 for Keraan, dropping him down to 8 if I'm not mistaken.
I think Kieran's thinking about whether he has to block with Omnath right here, because that 8 is huge. But Omnath's obviously 4 life, which could buy him some time. But trading for 4 life when the Vanguard gets indestructible.
Okay, he's going to block, but the Vanguard will get indestructible. Take Yudhi's life down to 23.
No, I think
Yeah, he's done it. So 23,
Yeah.
and the Omnath dies.
Ooh. Yeah. This is huge. I see Keraan putting the little creature down in the land spot there, indicating that he really needs his lands. He needs it towards that. Otherwise, his mana ramp, or because his deck is pretty mana intensive.
Yeah, for sure.
Compared to this low to the ground.
Okay, so it's going to
cool.
scoop it. That's fine. They're going to go to game 2. We got a first-time chat from a new viewer. Jemays says, "Hi, I'm an old judge. Need a ruling? We'll let you know, man. Thank you for the for the offer. We're all good right now. We do have judges on the floor, so I'm sure the judges can make a call from there. But it would be great to have your thoughts in chat about what you see going on."
Yeah, and I love that he has it upside down so that his opponent can look at it.
Oh, this is the playmat, right? But they're both doing it. Have you noticed how they're both doing it? So Keraan's got his World Cup qualifier mat pointed towards Yudhi. Yudhi's got his top 8.
Well, unless they've done it for flavor so that the both pictures kind of form as one, half. And
It's kind of funny. I like it. I like it. So still, unfortunately, we have not got our deck lists to come through just yet. I will follow up with the judges in the break between rounds. Make sure that we get those. But for right now, just again, I think on that particular game, Yudhi just got the nuts right out of the draw, which is fantastic.
I mean, turn 1, Legion's Landing. Turn 2, 2 creatures. Turn 3, Flip Landing. And
Vona, I mean, really, to bring that out so early.
Yeah, so I think Keraan also got a bit lucky with the Sylvan Scrying.
Sylvan Awakening?
Sylvan Awakening. Sylvan Scrying is the Tron.
So, yeah, different deck.
some Sylvan stuff, right?
Sylvan.
It's like Wizards have started running out of names, so we're just forgetting. we're forgetting the synonyms and the lore.
Everything's just Sylvan.
Yeah.
And Kyriatid.
And Legion.
That's right.
So
power shuffle's going on.
Yeah.
Keraan making a change to the deck again here.
So this might be a play draw change. When you're on the draw, especially against an aggressive deck, you have to be a little bit more in a control role because versus on the play when you're looking to play to the board. So especially in Modern, you'll start to find those are like those 1 card, 2 cards. I know when I play some decks, I have to choose. Like it literally is this card is just horrible if they do their things on turn 3, and you have to react to it. So,
but I mean, again, you see that in most, like yesterday in the standard final, we saw Keraan sideboard out all his ultimatums against that Dimir Rogues deck because he just didn't need them.
And that's obviously Keraan understanding how well he understands the matchup, right? I mean, he's been playing for almost like 20 to 30, 20 some, it's almost 30 years, and he's been playing at the pro level.
Yeah.
He top 8'd GP Moscow, and insane player. So he knows exactly the impact of being on the play and the draw in terms of these things. So, game 1, you never really understand that, but at certain times when, for instance, a Gemstone Caverns.
You're playing, you can't watch.
So in terms of like Gemstone Caverns, which is like a card that you have that, if you're on the play and this is in your opening hand, if you're on the draw and it's on your opening hand, you can exile a card and it gives you that mana advantage. However, when I play, when I'm on the play, I take it out because it's a colorless land that doesn't do anything. So these are very small things, but these are really edges that and sometimes people even take out a land when they're on the play.
Yeah.
Knowing that they can sacrifice that because your opening hand is kind of going to be that right mix of lands to spells that you want.
Just hold on 1 second. Guys, we've got to go silent for just 1 second. Please.
And that's also when you find the list, I'll move out.
Yeah, no, it's fine. I'll make sure that it's up the way we need it.
Yeah.
Just can't have you looking at modern lists for tomorrow, bro. It's not cool.
Listen, I'll look here. I don't want anyone looking at my deck.
There you go.
Because I always have those one-off spicy
cards. Here we go again.
Cards.
So,
ooh, nice start.
Nice start for both players.
Okay, so he's
So
got
got the 3 mana already for Keraan.
This is really good for Keraan because even though it is a mana ramp for him, it
Swing
is,
with the 1.
um,
So 19 for Keraan, 21 for Yudhi.
it's also kind of a 1/0/3 blocker indirectly, which is huge against these aggro matches for him. It's part of his combo, but there we go. Yes,
Hinterland Harbor, Omnath hits the board.
So you can even see Keraan valuing the creature, not allowing it to block, because knowing that Yudhi might have a pump spell.
Sorin.
Yeah, Sorin doing its work here.
Is Sorin going to -3 and drop another big body? No, just going to go.
Oh.
Yes, there's the Haunt of the High Tower.
So you can see Keraan looking at this and saying, "Oh, what is this?"
Yeah, no, it's another big flyer that makes him discard cards and pumps itself. So it's basically. Also, the other thing about the Haunt is that whenever a card goes into an opponent's graveyard,
So when
it gets a +1/+1.
So even if Keraan casting spells is
As far as I understand, I think it's whenever, or is it on discard only? I think it's.
could be discard because I know Vampires Trade likes that theme.
Haunt Piff the Haunt of the High Tower. So if I'm right, it's whenever a card is put into an opponent's graveyard from anywhere, put a +1/+1 counter on the Haunt of the High Tower. When it attacks, defending player must discard a card. So if Keraan's playing spells, whatever he's doing, as soon as the card hits the graveyard,
I mean, you can see, you can see the value of Sorin there.
So there's a
putting
trigger
6-drop on turn 3.
for Omnath or for Fabled Passage, which is going to get cracked, come back again. But now, if I'm right, he gets a second trigger off of Omnath for the second time that kicks in on the landfall trigger. Is that right?
So I think Keraan.
Whenever a land you gain life, first time but you gain it. But the second time he gets to add a whole bunch of mana, so he's getting that double trigger now.
Right, and
So he's now got floating red, green, white, blue.
just a question: Does that not mean that the little bat gets a +1/+1 counter for
It should, yes.
for the? Do we need to inform them about that? Is that a May trigger or is it a?
No, it's a must.
Yeah. So just should we just pause quickly to get them?
Just let's see if they've missed it. We've got to make sure, because that does
Whenever
go.
opponents
Put your opponent's grave from anywhere, put a +1/+1 counter.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to have to just bring that to their attention real quickly. Blocking is not really an option right now. Sorry for the delay, guys. Just getting a judge call on that trigger. We're back in a moment.
So basically, the judge ruling is it's a miss trigger. His opponent, too many game actions have obviously gone forward for him to things. So Keraan has the option of.
So Yudhi would have to ask, would you mind if I go back? And his opponent has the right to say no. Which is what's happened. Keraan has denied him the +1/+1 counter. So that's how that got resolved. It was Yudhi's miss trigger.
So it is a miss trigger. It's not a. So that's the wording may seem like it's a game state action, but it's obviously a miss trigger. So there's no game rule violations.
Okay.
So no warnings on the players, just a miss trigger.
Sure.
Which is weird with some of Magic rulings, because some of them are like, that would feel like a must.
Yes, because it doesn't say may or anything like that.
Yeah, it's like whenever.
Okay, so casting another expressive iteration.
So I just wanted to So that was also a little bit bad on our part, because obviously that's interacting with play. But it's also, you know, Wizards ruling, sometimes you never know the right words on that. So maybe we need to have, Jen Mays to help us with those. If we see those things, just to let us know if it's a May or
if it's something we need to interact on. We had to do a couple yesterday during Standard.
Because yesterday I missed my opponent...
Okay, exiling the Haunt, using Chain to the Rocks.
Oh, getting good.
Still nothing on these deck lists. Okay, so a lot of Caryatids out there.
Yeah.
There comes, what is that? That looks like a...
Same one, the 1/1 with Death Touch. And
so another...
+1/+1.
Getting a +1 count on a Vampire, so that's now 2/2 with Death Touch and Lifelink. Swing from... Yudhi takes Keraan to 21, I think? No, it shouldn't be, because he got the second trigger on the... No, he didn't, so it is 21.
Yeah, the Fabled Passage.
Yeah, but he doesn't get life on the second time he gets the mana.
Yeah.
So one of the reasons why Omnath was banned in Standard.
Well, I mean, it's the Fabled Passage is huge.
There's another Fabled Passage. So again, climbing back up 25 life.
I mean,
and he's going to crack it, come back, and again get 4 floating mana to be able to use.
So this looks like it's slowly getting away from Yudhi. I think if we manage to, it doesn't really make any difference. Even if you had managed to get the 1/1 counter,
Sure.
Keraan had the answer after Expressive Iteration, allowing him to dig a little bit deeper. So you can see how strong Expressive Iteration, allowing you to dig 3 cards deep, allowing you to play that land and still have another card in your hands.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty about Magic, is the learning to get all of those resources, and when to pull the trigger, when to find the right answers. You know, sometimes you might pull the trigger too early, you might pull it too late.
Sure.
And that's the difference when you're getting into these competitive matches. The difference between all of this is a win and lose. Is that a treasure cruise?
Looks like it.
Yeah, yes. You gotta love Keraan taking all the broken cards.
Pulling another Omnath. I can see another Omnath there in his hand. Tapping 2 of these creatures for mana, then a white source.
Okay, here's the combo.
Could be.
That looks like the Ascendancy.
Jeskai Ascendancy.
And I think we might be off here. I think Yudhi's too far behind now to actually... Because the thing with Omnath and Jeskai is they go bigger.
Yeah.
They just go bigger than what these 1/1s are trying to do.
Absolutely. I think the game has definitely swung away from Yudhi.
Yeah. Keraan finding all the right answers. And you can see this is the difference between being on the play and being on the draw. Especially, that's the one thing these aggro decks hate, is being on the draw.
Yep.
It just gives the opponent that mana advantage. And
Sylvan Awakening hits the board. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, creatures you control get +1/+1 until end of turn. Untap those creatures. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, you may draw a card. If you do, discard a card. So lots of triggers on the stack right now. All his lands have become creatures. They can be untapped because of the triggers on Jeskai Ascendancy.
yeah.
And then they will attack, and that should pretty much be game.
Yeah. This is looking, and all of them, everything getting +1/+1. So they're going to be basically 3/3s.
So there'll be 3/3s, indestructible 3/3s with haste
and vigilance. Yeah, and now let's see if Keraan can start to get that engine rolling. Consider +1 untap.
And just the triggers off of whenever you cast a non-creature spell, you may draw a card.
You can see Yudhi's already feeling the pressure.
So he gets to untap all his lands, which are now all creatures.
And I think he's just hoping for...
It's the way he's stacked his triggers.
Yeah. So I think Keraan's putting the dice in front of us just to help how many counters on
So
each
1,
creature.
2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, there's the combo triggers on the side.
Yeah.
Or that's the amount of mana he's got. So he's just floating some mana right now. 1 green, 2 blue, 2 red. And I think that's white, obviously.
4 white. Tapping those guys. Expressive iteration.
Okay.
Trigger off with Jeskai Ascendancy.
Yeah, no, this is the combo. So basically, Kieran's just trying to get as many spells in as possible.
Yeah.
I think he's trying to just get around a blocker and.
It's also we're counting up the +1/+1 counters that he's getting.
Yeah, that's the one in the center.
Well, +1/+1/+1 until end. Yeah, that's the.
That's the one near the
middle
fabled
of the board.
passage.
So the 3.
Yeah.
That we're
So
seeing
they're
right now.
all basically 5/5s right now. So I think he's looking to see if he can get one more.
I don't know if he needs it. I mean, at this point, there's only one blocker standing in his way, and he can. I mean, his Omnath is also obviously getting the +3, so that becomes a 7.
But I think he's just shoring it up just in case that he takes the Sorin off the board, ensures, this is the type of player that he won't let anything up to chance. He wants to make sure, have a little bit of certainty.
This is insane, man. Look at this.
And I think he's also just giving us a little bit of a show, right? He's allowing us to see the combo off. We haven't seen it in all 2 games. And yeah.
Oh wow!
Just around. So the reason he's doing this is, I think, because of this 2 mana open up. Just so he doesn't, he wants to avoid a blowout. So if there's a removal spell or a anything in Yudhi's hand that he can interact with him in instant speed, he doesn't want to be blown out for that reason.
And that was Radiant Flame, yeah.
Yeah. So for X, X is 3, wipe the board. And then I think there's Yudhi saying, cool. Yeah, so that's
the game.
That's all.
So Keraan takes round 1 against Yudhi.
And yeah, that's the game there.
And we're just going to quickly go follow up on our deck lists for round 2. So don't go away, anybody. We'll be right back. We'll also have some standings for you after round 1. So thanks so much for sticking around. We'll be back in a little bit.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.